Hey, welcome back to another episode of Explore the Spectrum. I'm your host, Jeanetta Bryant, and today we are joined by Courtney Arndt. I am thrilled to have you with us today because you're talking music therapy. You have a program that reaches much of the Central Florida, Space Coast, Brevard, Central Florida area in person, but you have the capabilities of reaching people nationally. I want to hear your story, but I also want to help everybody understand how vital music therapy is. I feel like it's often put on a shelf as this idea that is just kind of nice, or it's like playing or something, but you're doing real work. And not only are you doing real work, I learned in a conference years ago that music is the only thing that lights up all areas of the brain. So if there's a deficit in one area, the other parts of the area can compensate and try to help make that whole, right? And so as you're in this field, I'm not the expert, you most certainly are. First, I want to know what brought you to it. And then, tell us what you do.
Sure. I was actually, when looking for a career, I was looking for something in the health professions. I was looking for a helping position, but I didn't want to leave music behind because that's a big part of my life. When I heard about music therapy I guess before I started school, maybe 20 some years ago, it was like all of the things that I loved came together. And so that's kind of what started this whole journey and the birth of Florida Music Therapy.
I am thrilled that all of those pieces came together for you because, like I said, you're more of a unicorn. And even if parents don't realize how rare and wonderful you are, I'm hoping this interview helps them realize that. Because not only do you understand how a lot of our kids need that stimulus of having music. I mean, my daughter acts like a little DJ all the time, right? Like she's always got an iPad playing music because music is good for our kids to be able to soothe and for them to be able to focus and for them to do things. And so you not only do that, but it helps with so many different motor skills, right? Like it helps with speech, it helps with language, it helps with fine motor and regular motor skills. You can apply it across the board, but you don't just do that. You do that, plus you figure out a way for most families to not have to pay for this. So tell us how your story is different from other music therapists.
Well, music therapy is it's not a hard concept. Most people use music therapeutically. Also, most families, most neurodiverse families, find that there's a deep connection with autism, that neurovariant, and music because of how music is processed in the brain. So the benefits, we see them very quickly, and it's not a hard concept. So that's easy. It was coming up with making that benefit accessible. And that was my dream. I worked for about 10 years before starting Florida Music Therapy. I wanted a practice where anyone could have that benefit. If someone could benefit, then they should benefit. So we work so hard to work with insurance companies and grants and scholarships. And currently, our program, 95% of our families don't pay a penny out of pocket. And that's where we like to keep it, is in the upwards 90s, where anyone can call and we figure out a way to get them what they need.
You're brilliant. And thank you for that. I have recently realized, I know that all of our kids are stupid expensive. And that's what I call it. Because every time you turn around, you're buying another gadget or you're paying for another therapy or you're doing something. And a statistic was revealed to me that most of our kids will cost us around $2 million. So it's real fast that we see that we don't have the dollars in our pocketbook to sometimes be able to have some of these services, even though we know how valuable they are. It just, you've still got to pay the mortgage or you still got to pay the rent. And you don't know how to make that Rubik's Cube work the way that it needs to. And I adore the fact that your heart was in this for the families to say, let me help you figure that out. Thank you for being that person.
Thank you.
So tell me something. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to.
No.
Go ahead.
Oh, I've seen, that's where the birth of Florida Music Therapy happened, is I started seeing families who had great benefit from music therapy. For some kiddos, maybe with 10 to 20 functional words, but they have everywhere to 30 different songs memorized, or music was the light switch on, or how they met their IEP goals, whatever it was. I've seen so many families choosing between utilities and music therapy, groceries and music therapy. And no one should have to choose what's best for their child and have to figure out how to live at the same time. So that's where that came from. I was just affirming what you were saying. And also coming from a neurodiverse family myself, I get it. It should, I wish that we had, I wish that everything was accessible in terms of how we access care.
Yeah. You know, it's very Pollyanna to hope for people like you to exist. But when you really do, we get to be excited by that and appreciative of it. And I was asking if you had any different success stories, and you kind of married that into your answer just now. So tell us, you know, for the families that are watching and are excited by the fact that you can reach them in Nebraska or Wisconsin or California, you have this grand reach, not just for the folks here in our backyard. How do they get a hold of you?
FloridaMusicTherapy.com is a great way. It's a great way to start. We have some videos of what music therapy looks like. That's usually a good question of, I know that I myself connect with music, or I have a child who connects with music, but I don't know what that looks like. But we have some great examples of what that can look like on our website. And also parents talking about differences of, you know, what things looked like before music tools and how life is more comfortable or accessible with music tools. So those are some great resources on our website. And then, of course, we have contact information, info@floridamusictherapy.com, 321-722-7910. You can get a hold of us through any way, website, Facebook, all the things. So.
And I can't imagine somebody not wanting to reach out to you. You are absolutely delightful. And I really am. I couldn't give you more praise on creating a company that families can truly utilize and help their kids be their best. So thank you for making that happen. And thank you to all of our viewers today for joining us as we continue to explore the possibilities.